The weight of other people's expectations can crush the spirit silently, slowly, until every choice feels like a compromise and every step forward is measured against someone else's standards. By staying with this reflection until the end, you will begin to understand how to untangle yourself from those invisible chains, how to reclaim your sense of worth from the voices that have tried to define it, and how to start living in alignment with your own truth instead of the scripts others wrote for you. This is a journey towards self-liberation, and even the smallest insight from it can shift the way you see your life. Expectations are invisible yet relentless. They sit on your shoulders, pressing you into roles you never consciously chose. Sometimes they come from family, sometimes from friends, sometimes from society at large, and sometimes even from the quiet inner voice that has learned to mirror the judgments of others. At first, you might not even notice the weight. It starts as subtle pressure, a whisper in your mind that says, "You should do this," or "You need to be that." Over time, the whisper becomes a roar, shaping your decisions, your relationships, and the way you view yourself. Living under the constant weight of expectation can make it feel impossible to hear your own voice. You begin to measure every action against approval rather than intuition. You start to ask, will they like this? Will this be enough? More than, does this feel right for me? And in doing so, your heart begins to shrink, bending itself around the contours of other people's desires instead of growing into its own. If you stay here, you will learn that freedom begins with recognition. The first step to healing is seeing the ways you have been carrying expectations that were never yours to carry. You will begin to feel how much energy has gone into pleasing, performing, and fitting into molds that do not honor who you are. And from that recognition, the path toward liberation starts to take shape. It is not your fault that these expectations exist. No one taught us to prioritize our own needs fully. From a young age, most of us are conditioned to seek approval, to perform, to be seen as successful, likable, or competent according to standards set by others. The intention behind these lessons may have been care, love, or guidance, but the result often leaves us exhausted, anxious, or disconnected from our own desires. The expectations themselves are not inherently harmful. It is when they override your authenticity that the damage begins. You may have spent years living under this invisible weight, sacrificing your wants to meet the imagined or explicit demands of others. Perhaps you have chosen careers, relationships, or lifestyles because they were expected rather than because they resonated with your heart. Perhaps you have silenced your needs in the fear of disappointing someone, or you have pushed yourself beyond your limits to fit an ideal that was never yours to meet. Recognizing these patterns is the first act of compassion toward yourself, a gentle acknowledgement that you have done your best under the conditions you were given. Healing begins when you stop arguing with your past choices and start noticing the difference between obligation and desire. You will slowly see that the life you were trying to fit into may not have been meant for you. That realization can feel terrifying because it challenges everything you've built around others' expectations. But it is also liberating because it opens the door to creating a life aligned with your own values, your own rhythm, and your own joy. If these reflections feel resonant, take a moment to breathe in that awareness. Let it remind you that you are not alone in this struggle, and that there is a path forward that allows your heart and mind to feel lighter. Consider subscribing, not as a formal routine, but as a gentle reminder that you are deserving of guidance and affirmation while learning to prioritize your own truth. This space exists to help you hear your own voice again, and to trust that it matters more than the applause or criticism of others. The act of untangling yourself from other people's expectations is not sudden or dramatic. It is quiet and subtle, often beginning with small choices. It may start with saying no without guilt, prioritizing a need without apology, or choosing a path that feels right internally rather than externally. Each small step reclaims a portion of the self that was ceded to the weight of judgment, and each step reminds you that your life is yours to live first and foremost. Expectations can be heavy because they are familiar. We often mistake the weight for care or guidance, believing that if we honor the expectations, we are honoring the people we love or respect. But in reality, honoring expectations at the expense of your own heart erodes your authenticity. It can leave you feeling hollow, exhausted, and disconnected from the very life you are meant to lead. Healing is the act of recognizing this, giving yourself permission to breathe, and slowly learning to live in a way that aligns with your own truth. When you begin to release the weight, you will notice a shift in perception. Decisions that once felt agonizing become easier, because you are no longer trying to please everyone at the cost of yourself. Relationships that felt burdensome may start to clarify. You will see who appreciates your authentic self versus who loved only the version shaped to meet their expectations. Work, creativity, and personal passions will start to feel less like obligations and more like expressions of your truth. That clarity is the essence of liberation. It's important to acknowledge that releasing expectations is not the same as rejecting love, guidance, or advice. It is not an act of defiance, it is an act of alignment. You can honor the wisdom of others without letting it dictate your every move. You can listen to counsel, consider input, and still choose what feels right for your own heart. This is the distinction between obedience to expectation and obedience to self. And understanding it is crucial to sustainable healing. If these ideas resonate, let yourself linger here a little longer. Let yourself feel that there is a path to reclaiming your sense of worth beyond the opinions and demands of others. Consider subscribing, as a reminder that your journey matters, that nurturing your own voice is not selfish, and that a gentle, supportive space exists for guidance and reflection whenever the pressure of expectations feels too heavy to carry alone. Releasing the weight of others' expectations is gradual. It requires patience and observation. Some days, you will find yourself slipping back into old patterns, checking yourself against what you think others want. That is natural. The mind resists change because it has learned safety and conformity. But each time you notice the pattern without judgment, you reclaim a fraction of yourself. Every moment of awareness strengthens your ability to live in alignment with your own truth. As you practice this, you will start to notice subtle freedom in daily life. You may experience a lighter chest, a calmer mind, or a renewed curiosity about your own desires. You will begin to recognize the difference between obligation-driven decisions and choices rooted in self-respect and authenticity. This discernment is the heart of the healing process. Understanding that your life belongs to you and that the expectations of others, while familiar, are optional to carry. Healing is also about redefining success on your own terms. The accolades, approval, and validation that once seemed essential will start to fade in importance. What matters will be your own sense of fulfillment, alignment, and contentment. You will begin to measure life not by how it looks to others, but by how it feels to you. This shift is not selfish, it is essential. It allows your gifts, your passions, and your authenticity to flourish without the chains of expectation. By the end of this reflection, you will have glimpsed a path toward liberation, a gentle, steady way of releasing the weight of others' expectations while honoring your own voice. You will understand that healing is not rebellion, but realignment. You will recognize that living according to your own truth is not a luxury, but a necessity for peace, clarity, and fulfillment. True liberation begins when you recognize the difference between the expectations that belong to you and the ones that were placed on you. You will begin to feel a sense of lightness as you notice how much energy has been spent trying to meet the invisible standards set by others. By staying here, you will gain clarity on how to disentangle your heart and mind from these burdens, how to identify which voices deserve attention and which do not, and how to start reclaiming the freedom to make choices that honor your own desires, values, and joy. This is not a quick fix. It is a gradual, compassionate unfolding that allows you to reclaim yourself piece by piece. Expectations feel heavy because they are constant, pervasive, and often unspoken. They whisper to you in subtle ways, a glance, a comment, a tradition, until they become internalized, shaping the way you act, think, and even breathe. You may not have realized how much of your energy has gone into maintaining the image others hope to see, rather than nurturing the life you were meant to live. That realization can feel overwhelming at first, but it is also liberating. Seeing the weight clearly is the first step toward releasing it. It is normal to feel guilt when considering stepping away from expectations that once defined your choices. You may fear disappointing someone you love, breaking unwritten rules, or stepping outside of the life you were taught to honor. But healing asks you to reframe these fears. It asks you to remember that your worth is not conditional upon meeting the standards of others. Your desires, your voice, and your path are valid simply because they belong to you. And when you begin to honor them, you create space for authenticity, joy, and freedom. If these reflections feel meaningful, stay here and breathe. Let yourself imagine what it would feel like to make decisions unburdened by constant approval seeking. Consider subscribing, not as a distraction, but as a gentle, steady reminder that you are worthy of guidance and support while learning to center your own voice in the midst of external pressure. This space exists to help you reconnect with yourself and to validate the journey of reclaiming autonomy over your life. Self-awareness is essential in this process. Begin by noticing the moments when you act out of obligation rather than desire. When you realize that you are doing something to meet someone else's expectations, pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this for me, or because someone else wants me to? This simple inquiry opens a doorway to freedom, allowing you to see how much of your life has been influenced by unseen pressures. Awareness is not blame. It is the first step toward conscious, intentional living. As you become more conscious of these patterns, you may begin to notice a subtle, yet profound shift in your energy. Tasks that once felt heavy may now feel lighter. Decisions that once seemed agonizing may begin to carry clarity. Relationships may become clearer, showing who genuinely supports your authentic self versus who appreciates only the version they expected. This discernment is a sign of growth, and it is an essential aspect of healing from the weight of expectations. Freedom is cultivated through small, deliberate choices. It may begin with something as simple as saying no without apology, setting a boundary, or allowing yourself to pursue a desire that feels right to you, even if it contradicts what others might want. Each small act of self-alignment reinforces your capacity to live authentically. Over time, these choices accumulate into a powerful declaration that your life belongs first and foremost to you, and that honoring your own path is not selfish, but necessary for true peace and fulfillment. Expectations often come wrapped in love, tradition, or guidance, which can make them feel inescapable. But honoring expectations at the expense of your authenticity diminishes the life you are capable of living. Healing is the process of untangling these threads, separating the intention behind others' guidance from the impact it has had on your choices. It is recognizing that you can be kind, considerate, and respectful while still prioritizing your own truth. This balance is not only possible, it is essential. If this message resonates, take a moment to anchor yourself here. Subscribe as a gentle companion on this journey, not as a ritual, but as a reminder that your growth matters, that your voice deserves to be heard, and that your freedom is a practice worth nurturing every day. This is your space to reflect, to realign, and to reaffirm your worth outside of anyone else's expectations. Releasing the weight of expectations is not an act of rebellion. It is a reclamation of self-respect. It is about recognizing that living according to your truth allows your gifts to flourish, your passions to thrive, and your heart to expand without the constraints of approval seeking. It is about learning to trust your own judgment, your intuition, and your desires. Every moment you practice this is a step toward an empowered, liberated life. Reflection often reveals patterns that were invisible when expectations dominated your choices. You may see how often you compromised your happiness to satisfy others, how frequently you silenced your own needs to maintain harmony, or how much of your energy went toward sustaining an image rather than nourishing your soul. Recognizing these patterns is not about guilt, it is about understanding. Each recognition is a step toward freedom, a chance to choose differently, and a reminder that your life is yours to live fully. As you continue, you may begin to notice the subtle liberation that comes from prioritizing your own voice. You will feel lighter in your daily decisions, more confident in asserting your desires, and more attuned to the authenticity of your relationships. You will start to see that those who truly value you will appreciate your honesty and your courage, and that the disapproval of others does not diminish your worth. Healing through self-alignment also allows for gratitude and appreciation to emerge. You may begin to honor the ways you once strived to meet expectations, recognizing the effort, the love, and the care behind your actions, while also embracing the freedom to redirect that energy toward your authentic self. Gratitude for your resilience, for your capacity to learn, and for the courage to reclaim your voice becomes part of the transformation. By the end of this reflection, you will have gained a sense of empowerment, an understanding that your life is yours to live, that your choices are valid when rooted in your own truth, and that liberation comes from aligning your actions with your values rather than the expectations of others. You will begin to experience a quiet, steady sense of clarity, and your heart will start to feel lighter, unburdened by the weight that once held you down. True freedom comes when the life you live belongs entirely to you. It is the quiet, unwavering certainty that your choices, your desires, and your path are valid simply because they are yours. By staying here until the end, you will begin to experience the relief and empowerment that comes from releasing the weight of other people's expectations, allowing yourself to live in alignment with your own heart, and embracing the life you were always meant to lead. This is the culmination of a journey that begins with awareness and grows into authentic, liberated living. Reclaiming your life requires courage. The courage to step away from scripts that were written for you, to challenge assumptions that others held about your potential, and to honor the truths of your own heart. It is not always easy. Expectations can be deeply ingrained, reinforced over decades, and intertwined with love, respect, and duty. Letting go can feel like betraying those you care about, or even yourself. But the paradox is that the greatest act of love, both for yourself and for those around you, is living authentically. When you honor your truth, you create space for others to honor theirs. If you feel the weight of this struggle in your chest, stay here. Allow these words to remind you that your liberation is possible. Consider subscribing, not as a mere formality, but as a gentle promise to yourself that your heart's journey matters and that you deserve guidance and reassurance while untangling the burdens placed upon you. Every act of self-alignment strengthens your ability to live fully and freely. Healing from the expectations of others begins with consistent self-reflection. Ask yourself, which decisions am I making because I want them, and which am I making to satisfy someone else? Pay attention to the subtle tension that arises when you act in ways that don't align with your own desires. That tension is your compass, pointing to areas where freedom and authenticity are needed. Each recognition is an opportunity to reclaim a piece of yourself and move closer to living a life that feels true rather than imposed. As you continue to reflect, you will notice shifts in your energy. Tasks that once felt heavy now feel manageable. Choices that seemed complicated now carry clarity. Relationships become clearer, showing who appreciates your authentic self and who values only the version shaped by expectation. That clarity is a profound form of liberation. It allows you to prioritize your energy, focus on your growth, and surround yourself with people who uplift your authentic self rather than constrain it. The process of letting go does not happen all at once. It is gradual, subtle, and often invisible to others. Some days you may slip back into old patterns, seeking approval or conforming to expectations out of habit. That is normal. Healing is not about perfection. It is about awareness and persistence. Each time you notice the pull of external expectations and choose your own truth instead, you reclaim strength, integrity, and freedom. If this resonates with you, allow yourself to pause and feel that quiet empowerment. Subscribe as a gentle companion in this journey, a subtle way to remind yourself that you are learning, growing, and reclaiming the space that is rightfully yours. This is not about pleasing others. It is about honoring yourself. Every small act of self-alignment is a declaration that your life belongs to you and that your voice matters more than anyone else's approval. Expectations can sometimes disguise themselves as love, concern, or tradition. They often come with good intentions, yet the impact can be suffocating. The key is discernment, learning to separate the intention from the imposition. You can respect advice, guidance, and care, yet still make choices that honor your own heart. This balance is the essence of emotional freedom. Listening without being controlled, considering without being confined, and engaging without surrendering your autonomy. As you practice this, you may notice a subtle transformation in your self-perception. The voice of your inner critic, which often echoes others' judgments, begins to quiet. You feel less compelled to perform or conform. You start to trust your intuition, your desires, and your capacity to make decisions that serve your highest good. That trust is foundational to authentic living, and it grows with every moment you choose your own path rather than the path imposed upon you. Healing also invites gratitude, not for the pressures themselves, but for the lessons they revealed. You may recognize how much strength, resilience, and courage you developed while carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. You may feel appreciation for your capacity to discern, to navigate complexity, and to ultimately reclaim your voice. Gratitude in this context is transformative. It shifts focus from resentment to empowerment, from restriction to liberation. By the end of this journey, you will experience a renewed sense of clarity. The expectations of others no longer dictate the choices you make or the way you see yourself. You will understand that living according to your own values, desires, and intuition is not an act of selfishness, but an essential practice of self-respect. Freedom, in this sense, is not a destination. It is a daily practice of reclaiming your voice, setting boundaries, and honoring your own path. If these words resonate, stay a moment longer. Allow yourself to anchor in this awareness that your life is yours to shape, your voice is yours to honor, and your freedom is yours to claim. Consider subscribing, not as an obligation, but as a gentle reminder that nurturing your own voice and aligning with your truth is a lifelong, beautiful practice, and that guidance and support are here whenever you need them. Healing from the weight of other people's expectations is transformative because it reconnects you with your authenticity. You begin to feel the difference between living in alignment with your heart and living according to imposed standards. You notice a lighter chest, a clearer mind, and a sense of agency that may have felt lost for years. Every choice that honors your truth reinforces your worth, strengthens your confidence, and reminds you that freedom is not only possible, it is your right. As the journey concludes, imagine your life without the constant pressure of expectations. Decisions are made with clarity and confidence. Relationships are based on mutual respect and genuine connection. Your work, passions, and creativity flow naturally, guided by interest and inspiration rather than obligation or fear of judgment. That freedom, once distant, is now tangible, a reflection of your courage, awareness, and commitment to living authentically. Healing in this way also inspires compassion for yourself and others. You recognize that everyone navigates expectations differently, and that many carry similar weights silently. Your freedom does not diminish anyone else. Instead, it models integrity, authenticity, and self-respect. By honoring your own path, you create space for others to do the same. This ripple effect is part of the profound transformation that comes from releasing imposed burdens and embracing your truth. Ultimately, healing from the weight of other people's expectations is not about rejecting guidance, love, or community. It is about reclaiming the life that is rightfully yours. It is about integrating lessons, setting boundaries, and living with intention. It is about knowing that your worth is inherent, your voice is powerful, and your choices matter. And as you walk this path, you will notice a quiet, profound shift. A heart unburdened, a mind clarified, and a spirit aligned with its deepest truth.